morning. We're all from MadeForMums, and we're going to be doing our daily news meeting where we talk about all the stories that we're interested in and stuff we want to put up on the site. You know this, if you're a Facebook fan of ours, then you read the stories. We want to do this live because we want you to get involved as well. We want to get the right stories. So we're just going to literally go ahead and start doing our stories. First of all, we've got Tara here.
Hi.
And we've got Helen as well.
Hi.
And I'm Susie. Tara, do you want to start?
Yeah, I might kick off with a story that I spotted just before we came down. Jeremy Corbyn has been talking about how he thinks after work drinks discriminate against mums. Often after work, people go out, they might be chatting work stuff, and mums have to go home and look after their children. So what do we think about that?
I mean, I guess it's like, do we think that that going for after work drinks is a really crucial thing that you can't do when you're a mum? And for me, I guess I'm lucky that I have a partner who can kind of man the fort if I come home from work late. But also, it's like, how many things we have to do that's just, unfortunately, I think when you're a mum, you kind of lose quite a lot of things. There are things, and it's just a balance thing. I don't know what Helen.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I leave work at 4, so I can hardly ever do an after work drink. And yes, it does affect. I think it does affect our relationships with people at work and definitely people outside our team. But that's the price I pay for being a mum, actually. And there are lots of other things, other prices I pay at work for being a mum and the kind of mum I want to be, and the parenting life I have at home. And that's life, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think if we're going to fight for things, then actually it's about getting protection for if you're pregnant and when you come back to work and part-time work. That's much more important to me. When I hear this, I just think, really, after work drinks? I can't help it.
And the idea that they should be banned.
Yes,
I mean, maybe a company should have a little think about
totally.
how many mums, or dads in fact, they have who need to rush home at 5:30 and do a few drinks at lunchtime, or find some other way to get together. But to ban that,
It's not going to make mums very popular, is it? If work
Well, no,
drinks are
that's the
banned
reason.
because of mums. Oh, okay, thanks. So that's another
Thanks for
reason
that.
you can't stand us, as well as we're going off early to look after sick kids and stuff. So maybe not quite hit the mark with that one.
And so I then want to think about, apologies guys, because we're a bit late starting today with some technical issues. But it really struck a chord because there was a great story I think you found, Helen, about not turning up on time.
Yes, this is personally embarrassing, but it really made me laugh to see this picture someone had taken of. It's in America, so it's called a tardy sheet. It's basically a sign-in sheet. You have to sign in shame as a parent when your child is late from school. Obviously, school starts really soon for us. I know it's already started for those of you in Scotland. Anyway, if I had to sign in sheet every day, I'm not quite sure what I put in the column saying reason. There's only so many goldfish can die or things like that. But this parent here, his reason is actually, reason for being late is bad parenting, which really made me laugh because basically that's the reason why kids are late at school, to my shame. And I know there are lots of people out there who can't understand why my kids would ever be late to school. But we are, and I try really, really hard, I really do. And every New Year's resolution I make is not to be late to school, but we just are. And it's one of my failings as a parent.
And I think I'm absolutely in that camp. I find it very difficult to get to places on time. I think in my head, getting my kids to school was really, really important. On time, because I think the embarrassment for them, I go through that whole thing. Anyone who's notoriously late knows that moment when you know you're going to be late and then you sit there and you can't will yourself to get there any earlier. But I think to bring that tension when your kids are just going to school and they do rely on you, so I can kind of, from my point of view, I'm thinking, well, you don't have to be late. And I'm someone who is late, but I know if I really prioritise that the main thing of the day, it wasn't about me getting ready, doing other things, it was about just getting them there at a certain time or leaving the house, then I know I could do it. So it is my fault if I get my kids to school late, unless there's something extreme that happens and then it's not your fault. But mostly, I can see that. I don't know.
I agree with you, Susie. I just think there's 7:53 a.m. cut off, and I'm out the door by that time. The kids, my daughter has to be dressed and fed And then if I've got time to dress me, do my makeup, do other bits, that's fine. But 7:53, it all stops and we're out the door. And I don't see, if you're late every day by half an hour, just do things half an hour earlier. So you've got an extra half an hour slack in the house for anything that does come up.
To be fair, we're never late by half an hour. It's usually a minute.
Oh,
you know,
that's
we're
not
not
late.
saying it's
But it is
they're
late
running
to
in as
people
the bell
who-
rings.
But it is
Yeah.
late to people
But-
who are there. And you know when you have like a school trip, and there's
Oh,
always
gosh,
one
yeah.
family, isn't there, who kind of come, and the coach is waiting, and I think, please God, let it not be my family.
No, I'm totally with you. But there seems to be such a strength of feeling. I mean, if I was rubbish at giving my kids meals, that sort of thing, then there wouldn't be such a public kind of you are a really bad parent thing going on. I don't know. I know it's only because I try so hard. I even put the clocks back so they're actually 10 minutes early in our house. And I know it's all completely my fault. And my oldest son has a horror of being late for anything, and that's totally due to me. He gets really early to anything he needs to get himself to school. So, hands up, it's completely my fault, but I do think sometimes, but we'll move on to judging later, I feel a bit judged because it's not because I'm a lazy parent who wants to get out of bed.
Well, I'd love to know what when we do this on as a story, it'd be great to kind of see and hear what everyone else is thinking, because we're obviously a bit mixed here, but there's a little bit of lateness that happens. And maybe we should move on to judging, because as we know, constantly whenever we look at stories, there's almost daily there's a story about parent judging, isn't there? And I think, Helen, you were talking earlier about a story where it's something to kind of appeal to people about not looking like you're judging. Is that right?
Yes, it was a little Facebook post that a mother in America wrote. She has 2 boys with autism. She'd taken them for a meal in a restaurant because they were having a good day. They don't do this very often. The kids were having a good day, and we should do this. When they got to the restaurant, the kids weren't having a good day anymore, and it all went a bit wrong. And there was one woman next door, in the next door table, who was just staring at them all the time. And for her, and I've been there, you just think, oh no, everyone's looking at me thinking what a bad parent I am, thinking how awful my children are, I've got to do something to make this better, how awful, and it all just becomes a spiral. But it turned out the woman on the next door table had some really nice things to say. They had a lovely conversation. She said, I love your kids. And the woman in her post said, you know what, that made me think, when people stare, sometimes they're not judging at all. And I thought, so that's something that those of us who get worried by other people's judgments would actually remember sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just think when I'm on the tube and stuff, or when I'm on public transport and someone's kid is kind of really kicking off, I do try and catch their eye and give them a smile, but I'm not sure what the smile is going to say, because it's got to be the right smile.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be the right face. So perhaps again we could start thinking about, we'd love your interaction on what your face should look like. What's a nice smile? Because you don't want to look patronising either, do you? It's
And
kind of a
maybe
tricky
looking away is worse. Maybe
Yes.
if you're averting your eyes,
Yeah.
you're telling, actually, you're really embarrassing.
Yes, impossible. And hopefully you guys can hear us, because obviously we're doing this live and we have a massive lorry delivering things. Very parenting, isn't it? Really, let's go with whatever happens, whatever's thrown at us. So I guess I was quite interested because I saw a story. This is something that we've touched on quite a lot around breastfeeding in public, and we know we think this is brilliant, that there's been a real movement. Things are really changing, and mums feel now they really can breastfeed in public. There's lots of people, flash mobs and everything, and we really champion those stories. But this one, I had a bit of a reaction to when I saw it this morning. So this is a bookshop, and they put up a little sign, I don't know if you can see it there, that says, if I read it out, we only allow breastfeeding if it's done ostentatiously. And my immediate thought was, oh, that's really off-putting to me, because when I was breastfeeding, I didn't do it ostentatiously. I did it kind of quietly and fairly privately, but in public. And I don't know kind of what you guys think about that. How does that make you feel?
This side makes me really mad. We've done enough stories for mothers. We know we can breastfeed publicly, but we don't all want to have our boobs out. And to me, that's been written by a very know-it-all mum who probably did breastfeed ostentatiously uncovered. And it's like a lot of true words are said in jest, and I think she's trying to be funny. And actually, if I do cover up, it doesn't mean I'm embarrassed or ashamed. It just means I've been taught my whole life I shouldn't walk around with my boobs out. So when it comes to breastfeeding, I'm going to cover up. And it livid. I'd walk straight out that shop.
Tara, she's joking. She really is joking. It's probably done wrong, and she got the wrong tone. But it's clear to me that she who wrote the sign is trying to say, poke fun at other people, shopkeepers who write signs saying we kind of tolerate breastfeeding, but if you could do it very quietly under a shroud in the toilet, that would be good. And this person is saying, we welcome breastfeeding, however you do it. And there's trying to make a joke, going, whatever. I don't think it's instructions to breastfeed ostentatiously. I mean, I don't think, I find it very hard to do that personally.
But we have seen
really
it, haven't we? We've seen some.
Maybe that's it, because
there's
there's been a
celebrities now who do these beautiful photos, and it's all out there. We saw there was an advert where someone was sitting in a restaurant, and it's a model, and she had this. I think she had twin babies or one baby on her breast, but really sticking. Definitely in the face, and I think because you wrote a piece literally a couple of days ago about the fact that there's this real dilemma going on.
So this is Sam Thayers, who was breastfeeding in an airport lounge, and she covered up. Tandy Newton at a festival decided not to cover, and Sam Thayers got really criticised for doing that by mums telling her that she should be proud to breastfeed, but we don't all want to do it like that. And that sign to me, if I went in there and I breastfed covered, I would think people were thinking, oh, she's not all kind of cool and free and easy. It's just unnecessary. Just have a sign saying breastfeeding welcome. That's just showing off.
There you go, and that really encapsulates the whole problem with this public breastfeeding thing. Is it's become so controversial. The slightest word. I mean, if they just put a little wink face at the end of that sign, then everyone would have felt better, wouldn't they? And it doesn't matter how you breastfeed. The great thing is now it's okay to breastfeed in public. I'm so old I can remember when it really wasn't. And it's great. And why are we getting upset about whether we should be ostentatious or not? It's irrelevant. That's like saying you should be ostentatious wearing a bikini.
Well, that could come. We know, post-baby bodies, they're beautiful. We, encouraging people to come up, but it shouldn't be that you have to wear a bikini, for example, after you've had a baby. No. It should be choice, and I think this is the whole problem with parenting, and this is why it is a minefield, because someone's done something I'm sure with such good intentions. It's such a positive thing, but it can be taken both ways, and it's fascinating, really. I mean, it puts me off momentarily, but I think it's done with the right reasons. And I think, the last story we should look at is again something I found earlier today about a couple who went into a restaurant, had a new baby in a car seat. Didn't say in the story whether the baby was asleep. It was one of those buffet restaurants where you kind of go up and choose your food. So there were little booths, and they left their baby in the car seat in the booth, went up and got their food. And while they were doing that, a man from across the way started filming the fact that they weren't in the booth and this baby had been left on their own. He then put it on his Facebook page, and it's gone viral. And now apparently the police are talking to them. And I just think, okay, we're getting so far into this judging again. It comes back to judging. I think every time we do this, we're going to be talking about judging. And that's something, but then part of me is thinking, I've been to places where one of you stays with the kids or the child or the baby, and one of you goes up. I don't know what you think.
I don't know, they must have been really hungry. To me, one of you waits, one of you goes up, especially a baby. You'll be 5 minutes, you wait there with the baby, the next one goes up. Of course, the filming and etc. is not on, but
I know she did say she was watching the baby the whole time, and I don't know if anyone out there is the case with me. Petrol, filling your car up with petrol. Do you leave a baby in the car? Do you go because you're constantly watching, or do you not? It's a massive dilemma. I think. I don't know what you think.
And also, we all make mistakes, don't we? And we learn from those mistakes. I'm not saying that we should let our babies get into danger because of those mistakes, but none of us want to do that. I mean, what they did was a mistake. But what's horrific is that some stranger has taken a picture of it and judged them for the whole world and involved the police. I mean, that's terrifying. I have to say, there was one time I left completely accidentally my third baby. This is going to be horrific, isn't it? Now, left my third baby in the school playground. I was picking up the other two, and we went home. We didn't get all the way home, obviously, walking, but then I hadn't got my baby. Now, if someone had taken a picture of my baby's pram in the playground, hopefully not an isolated playground, you know, I would have been appreciative, please. And that's a horrible thought. Obviously, what I did was horrendous, and it's one of my most guilty ever parenting stories. But what have we come to when something like that? My baby wasn't in danger.
No, absolutely.
And this baby wasn't in danger in a crowded restaurant with parents watching.
Absolutely. And we don't know the circumstances. And I think we all have those moments that we've all done things. I think it must be very rare the person who goes, I've never made a mistake like that. I've never kind of momentarily not been watching when I should have been watching. And we do our best, don't we? That's what we do. And the idea now that someone could be there with a camera with a different agenda is very interesting. And that's tough for us because it's not like we've got enough to worry about. But so maybe the after work drinks are actually sometimes if you can get someone to babysit just occasionally, it might be nice just to not be at work and just working, but to have a bit of a social life too. Yeah. So what we want to do is really hear. We're going to go and write up some of these stories and get them live, and we'd love to hear what you guys think. So and then we'll just weave those into the stories. Thank you.